related to mining are posing a threat to national security, and it's an area that I think requires our joint collaboration to make sure that it's properly regulated. On the other issue that we are dealing with in this region is the question of violence, especially goons and hooligans and gangs. As you know that in the past we had a big problem with what was called 42 Brothers and other gangs, both operating between here and Kakamega County, Vihiga and other places. A lot of good work has been done, operation has been done in this region, and these activities have subsided. What we are witnessing is hooliganism. Sometimes young people being procured to carry political activities, and competitors are using young people to disrupt each other meetings and so forth. Again, like we have said in all other counties, this is an area that we must deal with decisively. The few elements also within the border sector who are also involving themselves in criminal activities can be dealt with when we properly regulate, and particularly self-regulated cooperatives and circles of the border sector. The other issue we are dealing with here is defilement and gender-based violence. Again, some of the repugnant practices here encourage these heinous crimes. This includes disco matanga, things to do with social problems between families are leading to high cases of defilement among young people. And again, like I've said in other counties, the practice where you are using alternative dispute resolution instead of dealing with these sexual offenses as crimes, as high crimes, must stop. And Chukwala Usalama conversation today will emphasize those issues to our chiefs and our OCSs to make sure that enforcement, we strictly enforce the law without really bending it towards what is called alternative dispute resolution, which doesn't apply in this case in crimes. I think the other issue of stock theft is also being handled, particularly the neighborhood here between Siaya and Kakamega. There has been a lot of stock theft. There is an ongoing operation. It will be extended to all the counties, and it will involve close working relationship between the two regions to make sure that this issue of stock theft is dealt with once and for all. When I went to Busia and Kakamega, we agreed on the strategy on how to deal with it, and we are going to support. There will be a team from the national level which will support the county team to make sure that this issue is dealt with for finality. I think those are some of the key issues in this region. Otherwise, this is generally a peaceful county. Thank you very much. I'll take 3 questions. Yes. Okay, starting with. You remember that President Museveni was in Kenya less than 3 months ago for a joint cooperation meeting, and it was agreed in that meeting, and I was there, that CS Joho with his counterpart from Uganda sit together to see how we can jointly manage the resources of Lake Victoria. And part of the things that informed, part of the issues that informed that agreement is because of this conflict within the lake from Migingo all the way to the Busia side. So the Port Victoria up to Migingo and all these other areas. And again, even from our government perspective, we recognize that although we have the presence of Coast Guard, we need to enhance their numbers and to enhance their equipment so that they can have enough boats. We are also planning to build a base for the Coast Guard in Usenge so that it can help in these operations. So it's an issue that is alive. We are alive to. Remember also the Coast Guards have also apprehended some of those trespassing officers from the neighboring county, because once you break the law, it doesn't matter whether you're from Kenya or Uganda, you must also go through the legal process, and some of them were arrested and handed over to authorities in the Busia side of Uganda, and they are facing justice. So with a closer collaboration, I think we should be able to get rid of that issue, because the so-called charges are bribes actually that are being solicited by those law enforcing agencies who have gone rogue. And I think as the two countries, neither Kenya nor Uganda encourages those kind of practices of corruption, and we must deal with them jointly through the joint cooperation framework. I don't think I am competent enough to deal with that issue here as we speak. That's a matter that's being handled by the Foreign Affairs, because they are also under defense, because we have a joint defense agreement, cooperation agreement between us and Britain, and there are procedures that are being followed. And when you are dealing with matters of extradition, it's a both diplomatic issue but also a defense issue in this situation. And I think I would rather leave that to Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the diplomatic channels within the defense to see how best that can be handled, because we have a good working relationship between the two countries, and I don't think there is we will struggle to find the right cooperation. Britain and Kenya have, of course, very long historical relations, as it's already known, pre-colonial, from colonial, pre-colonial, post-colonial to modern Kenya. So the whole thing requires proper diplomatic channels to deal with it, and I think Foreign Affairs are competent enough to help us. Of course, the procedures in court happen through the Attorney General's office and the DPP's office, and of course, as investigators, the Ministry of Interior has done its part. But in terms of extradition, it's an important process. But let's leave it to Foreign Affairs. The last question. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. Yeah.